All right, I'm going to talk a bit about the draft, the further uh, drafting that's gone on today, but something very cool is going on. Amazon, with my books being published on there 5 years ago, gave me an option. Get the money deposited in your bank account, or just have the money saved, and then when the money reaches $100, they send you a check. So I went with the check idea. I thought, well, rather than getting $2, $3 in my bank account here and there or whatever, I want the check. I'll take the check. So um, I went with that option, and I got a check in 2012. I got a check, and when it came in, I was home that day. It must have been a Monday. My ex-wife comes running up the stairs. We were together at the time, and she's like, "You got a check. You got a check." I'm like, "Okay." And a little backstory, I had told her, I said, "Look, when I publish these books, because I had no money of my own at the time, my money was her money was her money. I said, when I get a check, it's my money, because there's no budget for it. It's my $100." And all I was thinking was jersey. I can get a jersey, and nobody's gonna argue with me, or I can save it and just spend a little bit. So I get this $100 check because she bugs me to go cash it right away. It's $100 American, so at the time the Canadian dollar was close. I think it came out to $108, and I spent, I think, $5 of it. I think I went to a Tim Hortons, grabbed some donuts for the kids and myself, and then she's like, "Well, can I need stuff. Can I?" And she wasn't even. She was vague on what she needed it for, and I'm like, "Well, okay." Now this was 4 days before payday, or 3 days before payday, because it was the Tuesday, I think she asked me, and I said, "Well, fine." I said, "I trust you," so I thought I'm gonna just go ahead and trust her. So I gave her the money, the cash. And then on Thursday, I said, "Look, there's something I found that I want. There was something I found. I remember what it was." And I said, I can get it with whatever's left over." And she goes, "Oh." I'm like, "Oh?" She had $7 left over. She spent $90. Nothing came into this house. So my guess is she went and gambled it. She went to the casino, the local casino, and gambled it. Or the bingo hall, if the bingo hall was still open at that point. The reason I'm telling this story is because Amazon last week said, "We're not doing checks anymore. You have to put in your banking information." I was like, "Well, fuck. Shit." So I put in my banking information. Let me go ahead and move this window to the side. 3, 5, so that's 11. I've got $5 in euros going in, which is about $12. It's nothing, right? But British pounds, I got $66 going in, which means in Canadian money, that's like $150. That's going in while I'm on holidays, on top of the $250 cash bonus I get from work, which will come in on the 30th, because July 1st is a stat holiday, and they don't pay you on the holiday, they'll pay you the day before. So, jersey time! Alright. I will get Pittsburgh, I think. I'm thinking about getting the gold Pittsburgh, because it went back to... But I don't know. See, there's a couple I've been looking at on eBay, and I'm kind of excited. But speaking of excited, I'm pissed at the same time. I just watched the second round of the draft, and while, yes, I know, you have a 25% chance of these players becoming anything, and there's more of a chance that they won't. And that second round draft pick that the Canucks traded, I think I saw Buffalo up there at 33 with that draft pick. So that draft pick got traded by Florida to Buffalo, which is fine, because Florida's made all kinds of really interesting moves, and we'll see whether or not they work out. But when I see DeBrincat going to Chicago, are you serious? This kid is a sniper. Yeah, he's small. He's a sniper. This kid is going to make it. I watched Chicago. I think they had 3 second rounders. So there's all this talk about, well, Chicago, oh, whatever. The Canucks drafted William Lockwood. Well, now I'm going to have to look up Lockwood. As they're talking about him now. But, like, when you see, this is where the draft is important. people always say, well, there's only a 25% chance that a guy's going to be an NHLer. Right. Chicago knows that. That's why they got 3 second-rounders. You roll the dice, you might as well roll them 3 times. And if 2 of them pan out, you're golden. And DeBrincat is a small forward that can score. He is Andrew Shaw's replacement. A couple years down the road, DeBrincat's with Chicago. Love that. Cam Dineen just got picked up by Phoenix. I think that's Kevin's kid. Cliff Pugh went to Buffalo at 69. He was actually projected in the first round. So at one point, he dropped quite a bit. And I looked at this. I looked because I thought, all right, there's going to be big drops. In terms of guys who drop in the draft, like Chikrin yesterday, who was absolutely a basket case by the time he got picked up by Phoenix. The guys who drop, yeah, he was rated number 39, and he was rated number 41 by NHL Network. So yeah, Cam Dineen dropped too. But the guys who drop usually don't make it. Scouts are usually right. So the guys who drop, and I think of the biggest example in Vancouver was, remember when Jordan Schrader was drafted, and Jordan Schrader was viewed by Canucks fans as, well, we got a steal. This kid was rated in the top 10, and we got him at 24 or 25, whichever it was. Yeah, there was a reason. Jordan Schrader is a good fringe player, but he is a fringe player. This Cliff Pugh kid, I'm telling you, that's a steal at 69 for Buffalo. See, and now we're in the 3rd round. And now your odds of drafting an NHL drop a little bit. I think it's like 17%. But you look for these steals. Like, Calgary picks up Tyler Parsons. Brilliant. That's your goalie right there. You now have John Gillies, Tyler Parsons. You guys are set in Calgary once these kids are ready. Philip Gustafson picked up by Pittsburgh. Good move. You pick up another goalie because you know you're going to lose Fleury or Murray before next season's up. So you pick up another goaltending prospect. And then Carter Hart going to Philly. That's awesome. When you're picked up by Ron Hextall, you're a good goaltender. They have Stollers is still coming up. I don't know what Stollers did this year. I haven't really got into it. Jonathan Dahlen picked up by Ottawa. That's one that just showed up here. Absolutely. Ulf Dahlen's kid. Yeah. It's watching these guys get drafted and going, why isn't Vancouver in the 2nd round? Oh, right, Alec Goodbranson. And it's these sparse, and I get it. Most of these guys don't make it. So you don't need to make that comment on this video. Stop making that comment on this. Don't make that comment on this video. Most of these kids don't make it. I get it. But there are steals in here. There are kids who are drafted beyond the 2nd round even, 3rd round even, who will be NHL players and will play really, really well. And a lot of these kids, the 2 knocks that I hear most on the kids who are getting bitten is number 70 for Montreal. Once bitten, twice shy. You got to play it every time he scores, Montreal. But the knock seems to be one of 2 things. It's either their size, because they're below 6 foot, or it's their skating. Now, the guys who have the skating knock, they can work on that. And if they're big, they can still be a decent bottom 6 guy without that, huge speed. See, Bitten was number 33 prospect on the NHL Network, number 43 ranked North American skater by NHL Central Scouting, 67 games, 30 goals, minus 29 rating, but he played for Flint. Any kid that can play for Flint and put up 30 goals, you draft him. You draft him because Flint was a fucking nightmare this year. And anybody who doesn't know about the Flint American Hockey League thing, look it up. Just look it up. Because holy shit, Flint was a joke. When an owner's firing a coach because he doesn't think you're playing his kid enough. Yeah. And his kid is not top flight, skill. Oh, Washington doesn't draft again till 87. I got asked on the video yesterday to come out of the closet as a Caps fan, and damn it, I can't. I just can't. Because one of my great joys in the spring is the annual choking of the Capitals. It is as certain as the migration of the Canada geese above my head every fall. It is as certain as the turning of the leaves. It is as certain as the arrival of the douchebags in July to go to Cultus Lake. It is one of those things that happens every time. Cam Dineen, you know what gets me too? They talk about how they talked about how NHL players now are second and third generation a lot. And they said, well, and these kids can skate with their dads while they play in the NHL now. So that's different from the generation before. You know what the other change is? Cost. It is fucking expensive to put your kid in hockey, to get your kid gear, to keep your kid in hockey. So part of the reason that you've got so many second and third generation kids is because their dad's made a fucking mint in the NHL. It's the only way you can afford to put your kid through hockey anymore. It is so expensive. But yeah, Cam Dineen, 5'11", that's why he dropped. Oh, he's 5'11". So what? Like, I don't understand this. I don't understand when height became the number one overriding thing. And I thought the NHL had learned. There's a lot of guys below 6 foot that are playing really well in the NHL, and yet in the first round it was all 6'5", 6'4", 6'6". I'm like, what the fuck? It doesn't translate to talent, and it's a skating game again. There's some I don't know if Brian Burke was going to every table going, get truculence. Hey, how tall's that kid? Smarten up. Get a 6'4" guy now. But and the weird part is Calgary went small, so it wasn't Brian Burke. Maybe that's why he's sitting there like a vampire at the table looking miserable today. He really reminds me of Dracula and Bram Stoker's Dracula, but he looks like if that Bram Stoker's Dracula was allowed to live just a little too long. And I love Burke. Burke is the greatest interview you're ever going to get. He is absolutely the greatest interview you're ever going to get. But yeah, Chicago. What the hell? Chicago's one of the best teams in the league. Could have won the cup this year. Didn't. Has won 3 since 2010. And yeah, now they're getting really good prospects again. They're just restocking their prospect pool and getting a steal like a DeBrincat. DeBrincat didn't fall too far, and DeBrincat, it's his size, but he's a 50-goal scorer. I don't care who he played with. In the second round, that is a steal. And the fact that the Canucks traded themselves out of the second round is frustrating. All right, let's get out of this page. Go to a live NHL draft page. 2016, that'll probably be the NHL page. That'll probably be the most up-to-date. No, I don't want mock drafts anymore. There we go. I don't really want the news either. I just want the live draft results. Oh, you know what? I should just go to the TSN page. I'm not thinking here. There's Austin Matthews. And it is his day. Sabres acquire Kulikov from Panthers. Well, that'd be that 33rd pick. Oh, yeah, I'm going to the TSN site. Wait. They traded... What is Florida doing? Seriously, what is Florida doing? Oh, they grabbed Pisek and the second round pick. So that's the... Wow. The Panthers are really, really looking like a team that's doing this massive overhaul. It was funny because yesterday during the draft they even said... I don't remember which guy it was on the panel that said it, but they said, what the hell's going on with Florida? They had one of the best... probably the best year they've ever had. Why are they making all these moves? And it was analytics. Underlying numbers say they can't keep it up next year. And I know this is gonna make people upset. Eric Goodbranson was a big Alex Goodbranson, his brother. Eric Goodbranson, it is his brother. Look it up. Eric Goodbranson. His underlying numbers were bad, very bad. Okay. And that's part of the reason he's gone. Because according to the Corsi and all the other numbers, Florida will not repeat next year. And people who don't like the advanced stats and the analytics, fine. But Calgary is predicted to fall this year because their analytics were bad. And a few years ago, Colorado was predicted to fall apart because their analytics were bad. And now Florida sees that they've had their best year ever. Hi, Shadow. Why don't you get up here? Here, let me move that. You want to wear my hat? No? Okay. But Florida's in the same position. Florida's probably overachieved for where their analytics is. Roberto Luongo is why they made the playoffs. So, what? Bo Bennett's been traded for a third rounder. He must be a restricted free agent. Yeah, Stamkos, if your phone is on today, you're crazy. Cholowski from Chilliwack got drafted at number 20. Not from Chilliwack, but he played for Chilliwack. Absolutely thrilled to see a Chilliwack Chief go in the first round. And going to Detroit is awesome because Detroit is very good with their prospects. And Borgstrom for Florida yesterday. That one really threw me. I'm like, who's Borgstrom? There will be first rounders who don't make it. As much as I love the draft and everything, there will be first rounders who don't make it. And as soon as I saw Borgstrom, and that was before, I think it was Trent Frederick was drafted by Boston, and I'm like, I'd never heard of him. And I was hoping for DeBrincat. I was like, come on, Boston, grab DeBrincat, and no. I just love the name, DeBrincat. What's not to love about the name DeBrincat? Okposo, I'm guessing that Benning has called all of them. He's probably calling them, and then he's like, hey, yeah, Kyle, yeah, it's Benning. What kind of money are you looking for? Okay, what kind of term are you looking for? All right. Don't tell the NHL I called you. No, I don't care if it's not against the rules. Don't put Bettman on. Hi, Gary. I know. No, I promise. No, I didn't call before 12 o'clock. No, I understand. No, I know. Parking lot, right. Daily. Yeah, no, he's a very big man. I don't. No, that doesn't sound like fun. And how can you get me fired? Oh no, that makes sense. All right, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go. I just picture Benning at this point, just terrified to talk to players because Bettman and Daly are doing the thing with him. It's just a shame to see all these draft picks going, and then like the teams with multiple draft picks in the second and third round are you're really smart to do it because your odds of getting a steal go up. Holy shit, Philly's got what, 10 draft picks left? And from here on, well, we're just going to let Hextall come up here and because he's got all the draft picks. Holy crap. Bjorkvist, drafted at 61 by Pittsburgh. Bjorkvist. I have a new favorite Penguin. Bjorkvist has to make it. Based on his name alone, Bjorkvist. And when he scores, goals from Bjork have to be played. I don't care if they're not hockey goal songs. You have to play them. Libor Hadjic for Tampa there. Boris Kachuk and draft pick they got from Boston. Was that for Brett Connolly? Taylor Radish. I love the name Radish. That's great. Taylor Radish. So Tampa picked up some guys that I'm fans of. Kachuk, Radish. They sound like your bottom 6 tough guys. Sometimes that's all it takes. And Tampa trading away D'Angelo for the number 37 pick. That surprised me because when they drafted D'Angelo was known to have attitude problems and just his personality in general caused him to go from up here in the draft to down here. And Tampa picking him, it was seen as a risky pick because of the problems he was having, and other teams not really liking his game and his attitude. And now Tampa, I think it's only a year later, and they've traded him away for a second rounder. So that's huge. Sean Day goes to the Rangers. Okay, now I've got a couple watchers who are big Rangers fans. Sean Day could be a steal. I wanted the Canucks to draft Sean Day in the 3rd round. What the hell? Yeah, he's 6'2", over 220 pounds. So even if he's got problems, number 59 ranked North American skater, number 56 ranked prospect, and he's drafted at 81. So he dropped a bit. At this point, a 20 pick drop isn't that big a deal because some teams are picking guys they think are steals that are still on the table. But man, I don't know. Sean Day could be a steal for them. Wouter Peters? Wouter. His first name is Wouter Peters. BEL. Now, does that mean Belarus or Belgium? Because if he's from Belgium, then I know it's not Belgium. Wouter. I just love the name Wouter. That's great. It's like Barry Kripke saying router. Sean Day. Oh, this video's over 22 minutes already, but I figured that, you know what, it's okay because I'm going over all these draft picks. Max Jones was a draft pick for Anaheim yesterday, probably a steal. And then Sam Steele. And then Sam Steele's name comes up. So Anaheim did very well for themselves in the 1st round. I have to admit, Anaheim did very well for themselves. Possibly the best skater in the draft, so fluid and has the ability to make the game look easy at times. It's just Sean Day. Impressive combo of size, skill, and agility. He's just one of those guys who he's nosedived all year. And it's his intensity. It's his desire that caused him to nosedive. Will Bitten. It's so weird because the way things used to work, you had the 1st round on TV, and then the next day, rounds 2 through 7 just happened. You just turn on the sports that night, and they go, and the Canucks in the 3rd round grabbed, and 5th round grabbed, and then the 6th round grabbed 2 guys. And in other news, and nobody paid attention, nobody cared. But I think now with as fans, we're a little more educated on what happens. We understand that a lot of these guys are going to be players. And Will Bitten, having played in Flint, and they're talking about the walkout by the players.
The battling between ownership and the coaching staff and some of the things that went on with that Flint team would have been a distraction. What did you learn from dealing with that this year?
Yeah, I think having an A on my jersey and being a leader on my team this year had a big role. And I think I matured as a person. And yeah, obviously it was a really hard year. Not going to deny it. A lot of guys, we were battling through it all year. And we were just happy that we battled through the last game of the year, and after that we kind of got our rest, and we were just really excited.
And the guys upstairs mentioned your parents are Olympians in badminton, correct? And you play a little bit as well.
Yeah, my parents went to Olympics in 1992, 1996 for badminton, and I used to play
My
a lot of
1982 hockey cards.
maybe not as much now. Might be a
His
little
parents
rusty,
played
but
badminton at the
I
Olympics.
used to play a lot of badminton. I think it helped out with my hockey.
Well, you're looking forward to maybe
Niemelainen drafted by Edmonton. Well, of course he was, because his name's Niemelainen.
That has got to be something special as you look forward now to the rest of your development.
Damn it, Edmonton.
Maybe a spot in Montreal someday.
Yeah, for sure. Most of my family lives in Montreal, and then once I got picked by Montreal, they all went crazy. It's a day I'll never forget, and I'm just really excited.
Great draft pick by Montreal.
Unbelievable. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Will Bitten, guys, back to you. Dreams do come true. There are those stories.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Guys who are so excited to get selected by the team that they rooted for as kids. Casey Fitzgerald just selected by the Buffalo Sabres. You heard the crowd react and respond. So much enthusiasm for the Sabres here. First Niagara Center. To see these young men smiling, beaming with pride. It is a
Casey Fitzgerald, number 86 pick for Buffalo. Probably never makes it. Big kid, though.
Yeah, this is a kid that's a freshman at Boston College, the son of former National Hockey League Tom Fitzgerald.
Tom Fitzgerald's kid. Well, at least he knows the work ethic then. Didn't Tom Fitzgerald play for Buffalo? I know he played for the Islanders. This is so much fun because it's just rapid fire, player after player after player. Like, here's more prospects. And I know most of them never play in the NHL, but Boston College. Boston College and BU. My God. Like, just the amount of players who are prospects who are going to Boston University. Holy shit. It is a huge number, including the guy the Bruins grabbed late in the first round that I'd never heard of. Bruins grabbed Trent Frederick, and I'm like, who? Oh, another American got drafted by Vancouver at 64. And they don't draft again until 140th. God damn it, Benning. I find it weird that everybody hated the Buffalo yellow jersey. And I'm going to wear it again soon. But that hat the kid's wearing is yellow. You hate a jersey and then make the hat yellow. It's just one of those little minor things I look at and I go, how is it ugly on a shirt but not ugly on a hat? I'm not saying this would be a good design for a jersey either with the logo behind the logo, but I find it weird too that these hats were all designed that the secondary logo was behind the primary. Vancouver's secondary logo is Johnny Canuck, so this isn't Johnny Canuck, this is just the same logo. It's lazy. It's lazy. Lazy. Alright, they went to commercial. Yeah, Kulikov. Wow. Buffalo moving up to number 33 from number 38. And Florida gets Pissick and Buffalo's third round pick. Kulikov has 1 year left on his contract, set to make $4.5 million next season. Became expendable in Florida after the Panthers signed Keith Yandle. And Pissick will fill in for what Goodbranson did. Keep an eye on Phoenix, because the Phoenix GM, who I think just graduated high school, his team is being done completely by analytics. Take it from a Canucks fan. Analytics are okay in small amounts. They can reveal when a player's really bad or really good. But if you're doing it for all of your personnel decisions, it's not Moneyball. You don't do what Billy Beane did. And when you think about it and you look at baseball now, the Oakland A's aren't one of the best teams of baseball anymore. And you know that they're still doing Moneyball when it comes to picking players. So Moneyball worked for a couple years, and then everybody picks up on it. So this kid's coming in doing analytics, and we'll see if it works. But grabbing Chikrin was genius by the kid. I'm telling you, Chikrin, he's going to have such a chip on his shoulder. We saw that, and I think that might be part of what Jared McCann's deal was in Vancouver. He was pissed when he was drafted 24th overall. He felt he was a top 15 draft pick. He was projected to go in the top 15, and he dropped. And he was pissed. So maybe he has a chip on his shoulder, and maybe Florida can find a way to mold that and make him a better player. Anyways, this has been a great draft. It's going to continue. And all three of my teams are staying out of the second and third round, apparently. Well, Boston's grabbed a couple. Notable third-round draft picks: Matt Murray, Ghost Spear, Chris Letang, Jonathan Quick, Patrick Sharp, Zdeno Chara. Yeah, like, you can get steals in the third round. You can. Goalies are quite easy to get steals in the third round. Although this year it looks like they all went in the second round. To me, the smart teams are the ones that are up near the top of the league and going, you know what, we still need lots of draft picks. And they get lots of them. Chicago's got 2 in the fourth round. Vancouver's third rounder was traded to Florida. Or fourth rounder was traded to Florida. That was in the... Oh, who cares? Who needs prospects? It's not like they're rebuilding, right? It's not like you can get a steal later in the draft or anything. It's fine. But we're into the fourth round, so odds are most of these players aren't going to play. And if they do, it won't be for 4 or 5 years. So I'm not going to get into over-analyzing these guys. But, yeah, it's going to be a fun year coming up because the expansion draft is already messing with all the GM's heads. And, wow, so many prospects and so little action by my favorite teams. Dallas, I understand. Dallas had to go for it. They went for broke. The problem with Dallas was they're broken net. That's the problem with Dallas. But they went for it. They got rentals at the deadline. And this is what happens. You're on the outside looking in at the draft. Anyways, that's my end of draft comments for today.